My name is Julia Cuba. I'm the Executive Director of GEN Austin, which is GEN Austin. It's the Girls Empowerment Network. And we work with middle school girls and high school girls in helping them to develop critical thinking skills and workforce development skills. And our mission is to help girls navigate the challenges of growing up female. We have 25 high school girls on staff who travel all throughout Central Texas, and we serve about 3,500 girls throughout Central Texas. And then we also do workshops across the state. And we just had a conference this Saturday called the Girls Now Conference, which served about 1,100 folks, girls and parents and educators. We will provide workshops throughout the rest of the year all across the state for girls, all on the topics of bullying and body image and being a girl. The reason that we feel that it's so important to be working with girls at the stages of middle school and high school is because when you look at the state of girls across the nation, what we're seeing is that girls are the fastest growing population in the juvenile justice system today. And the way that girls are expressing their self-esteem crisis is through bullying and disordered eating, cutting, smoking, and binge drinking. So we feel that we need to step up to start to address those issues for girls in their schools where they can actually find a safe space to build that confidence and to focus on their academics so they can graduate and do well in their futures.
I'm Laura Wolf. I'm the Executive Director at CASA of Travis County. And in case you don't know, CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates, which means that we train community volunteers, people just like all of you, to come into the court system, also into schools, into foster homes, into a wide array of settings to speak up for what is in the best interest of youth who have been removed from their homes because of abuse or neglect. So we are appointed by judges here in Travis County to represent and make recommendations for what's in the long-term best interest of youth in the foster care system. We have about 400 active volunteers here in Austin who serve as court-appointed advocates for these youth, but that's not quite enough. So should any of you feel called, we'd love to have more volunteers. But we're proud to empower adults in our community to channel their commitment and their compassion to then empower youth in our community who are among the very most vulnerable of our neighbors.
I'm Susan McDowell, and I'm Executive Director of LifeWorks, which is an organization here in town that transitions youth and families from crisis to safety and success. And I'm very proud to collaborate very closely with all of these organizations up here and many, many more throughout the community. We're very fortunate in Austin to be a caring community and one that is very focused on the success of youth, and to have a lot of leadership in the nonprofit sector that works very effectively together in collaborations. I think that makes us kind of unique as a city. LifeWorks, we actually have 17 different programs under the auspices of housing and homelessness for youth, counseling, and education and youth development. Some of our services actually serve families, some serve adults, but the core of what we do are really focused on youth, and primarily in these kind of critical ages of, say, 16 to 22 or 23, where you are at the precipice of becoming an adult, and that could mean many things. There are many decisions and lots of need for support in your life. At LifeWorks, under the housing and homeless rubric, we provide a whole continuum of support from street outreach through emergency shelter, transitional shelter, and an apartment-based supportive housing program, and also young moms and baby shelters. So we have a housing continuum to meet kids where they are. The neat, tidy, feel-good story that happens all the time is we take kids from life on the street all the way to self-sufficiency, but the real meat behind that is that we have a way to catch somebody no matter where they are in their journey, and no matter how that journey occurs, which we know is sometimes not necessarily linear. You know, we empower kids to make their own decisions. We made our own decisions during that age, and they didn't always work out like we anticipated. So just a safety net to catch them.
Hello, I'm Barbara Jefferson. I'm the Clinical Director at the Center for Child Protection, and oftentimes I think people confuse our names with CPS, but we're not CPS. We're the Center for Child Protection, which used to be called the Children's Advocacy Center. here in Austin. And so a lot of the things that we do, I'm kind of thinking about what y'all are describing, and again, I agree. I think that we all interface with one another quite a bit. For us, children come through our door after they have made an outcry of abuse or if they've been witness to a violent crime. So at the Center for Child Protection, we work as part of the child protection team here in Travis County. When a child makes a report, they then will set up an appointment, which is a forensic interview at our center. And those involved are the DA's office, they are housed with us, the CPS, the caseworkers that are involved, the detectives that are involved, and Dell Children's Medical Center. So as children are entering into the system, as you can imagine, there's quite a bit of anxiety, not just on the child's part, but on the family's part as well in terms of what's going to be happening next. When a child comes for a forensic interview at our center, oftentimes the questions are by the child and by the parent is, am I going to be taken away? Is someone going to be removing my child? And so there's a lot of anxiety related to that beginning stage of being involved in this process.